Have you ever booked an international trip only to realize a week before departure that you need a visa? Or worse, found out at the airport? If you're an American traveler, your passport is one of the strongest in the world. You can visit most countries without a visa, but not all of them. And in 2026, some of the hottest travel destinations actually require advanced approval. Whether that's a full visa, an e-visa, or a special travel authorization. So today, I'm breaking down the popular destinations Americans need a visa for, the places that require electronic approval before boarding, and how to make sure you don't get denied at check-in. If you're planning your first international trip or heading somewhere trending in 2026, this video is for you. And if you know someone who might benefit from this video, be sure to share it with them. And of course, please like and subscribe for more travel goodness. Okay, let's get this show on the road. What does need a visa actually mean? There are three main types of entry requirements, and they all cost different amounts. Let's break it down. Number one, a traditional visa. This is the most formal process. You apply through an embassy or visa center. Sometimes you mail in your passport, sometimes you show up in person. The typical cost range for Americans is between $140 and $200 or more. Examples: China tourist visa is around $140. A Russia tourist visa, often $160 or more, depending on processing. Ghana, roughly $60 to $100 depending on speed. Processing time, anywhere from a few days to several weeks. This is not something you want to do last minute. Number two, e-visa. This is much easier. You apply online, upload documents, pay a fee, and receive electronic approval. The typical cost range can be $25 to $100. Examples: India e-visa, about $25 to $80 depending on length and season. Brazil e-visa, roughly $80. Vietnam e-visa, about $25. Processing time, usually 3 to 7 business days, but apply earlier to be safe. This is where most Americans get tripped up because it feels informal but still required. Number three, ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization. This is not technically a visa, but you must apply before boarding. It's basically pre-screening. Typical cost range, $7 to $30. Examples: Australia ETA, around $20. United Kingdom ETA, about 10 to 20 pounds, roughly 13 to 25 US dollars equivalent. Approval is usually quick, sometimes minutes, sometimes a couple days. But if you don't have it, the airline won't let you board. One thing first-time international travelers don't expect: a family of 4 going somewhere that requires an $80 e-visa, that's $320 before you even book excursions. Visa costs can add hundreds of dollars to your trip budget, so always factor that in. Speaking of factoring in costs, I recently partnered with Saily, a one-stop shop for eSIM data plans. You guys know how quickly international roaming fees can pile up. Saily can help reduce or even eliminate those fees completely. They have hundreds of affordable data plans in over 190 countries. It's built by Nord Security and trusted by over 14 million people. They offer 24/7 chat support, and they will give you a full refund if your device isn't fully eSIM compatible. I use Saily when I travel internationally because of the privacy protection and ease of use. I'm always connected and never have to worry about finding a Wi-Fi spot. I save big on roaming fees, and I don't have to worry about SIM cards or any of that nonsense. I usually get the unlimited plan, so I never run out of data or have to keep track of what pictures I send to my mom or how long I've been scrolling on TikTok. And the good news is that since I've partnered with them, you can choose from any of their plans and save 15% when you use my personal code, VacationAgent15. Just download the Saily app, create an account, choose a plan that saves you the most money, and be sure to use my code to save even more. It will help me, and most importantly, it'll help you save and give you peace of mind. Click the link in the description and check them out before your next international getaway. Hot destinations in 2026 that require a visa. Let's start with one of the most culturally rich destinations in the world, India. Americans must get a visa. The good news, It's an e-visa process. You apply online, upload documents, and receive approval electronically. But here's the key. You can't just show up. And if India is on your 2026 bucket list, especially with more Americans traveling there for heritage trips and spiritual tourism, make sure you apply well in advance. Next up, Brazil. Brazil is trending again in a big way, but Americans now need an e-visa to visit. This one surprises a lot of travelers because for years it was visa-free. But Brazil reinstated the visa requirement for US travelers based on a reciprocity policy. In simple terms, Brazil now requires visas from countries that require visas from Brazilian citizens. And since the US requires Brazilians to get a visa to visit America, Brazil now mirrors that rule. It's online and fairly straightforward, but again, you must apply before travel. Vietnam is booming for American tourism. Food, scenery, affordability. It's incredible. But yes, Americans need an e-visa. The process is online and usually smooth, but don't assume Southeast Asia is automatically visa-free. Thailand? Easy. Vietnam? Apply first. If you're considering China in 2026, especially with increased cultural travel and business return, this one requires a traditional visa. You apply through a visa center or consulate. A consulate is an official office of a foreign government located here in the United States. It's where that country handles things like passports, travel documents, and visas for people who want to visit. A visa center is usually a third-party office that processes visa applications on behalf of that country. They collect your paperwork, fingerprints, fees, and forward everything to the government for approval. So instead of applying online, you may have to mail your passport or physically go to one of these offices in cities like New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Houston, or Los Angeles. This is not a last-minute process. There are limited transit exceptions, but for tourism, you need approval ahead of time. Countries that require electronic approval. Australia does not require a traditional visa for Americans, but you must apply for an ETA before boarding. In travel, ETA stands for Electronic Travel Authorization. It's not a traditional visa. You're not mailing your passport anywhere. You're not going to an embassy. It's basically an online pre-approval system. Before you board your flight, you fill out a short application, answer a few security questions, pay a small fee, and receive digital authorization to enter the country. If you don't have it, the airline won't let you board. Good thing is it's quick, it's convenient, it's online, but you can't skip it. As of recent changes, the United Kingdom now requires Americans to obtain an electronic travel authorization. It's not a visa, but it is required. Many travelers assume Europe is fully open with no pre-approval needed. That's changing. The UK introduced the electronic travel authorization system as part of a broader border modernization effort. It's designed to pre-screen travelers before they arrive, similar to the US ETIAS system that visitors use to enter America. In other words, even though Americans don't need a traditional visa to visit the UK for tourism, the UK now requires advanced digital approval for security and immigration screening purposes. It helps them know who's arriving before the plane even lands. And by 2026, more electronic authorizations are becoming standard worldwide. Europe is changing in 2026. Before you assume Europe is completely visa-free, here's something important for 2026 travelers. The European Union is rolling out a system called ETIAS, the European Travel Information and Authorization System. It's not a visa, but it is required pre-approval before boarding your flight to most of continental Europe. This applies to the Schengen area, which includes popular destinations like France, Italy, Spain, Germany, Greece, Portugal, the Netherlands, and most of the European countries Americans vacation in. Here's what that means for you. You'll apply online, pay a small fee, expected to be around €7, receive digital approval, and then you're cleared for travel. It's similar to the US ESTA system, or the UK's new ETA. And just to be clear, the United Kingdom is separate from this. So if you're doing London and Paris on the same trip in 2026, you may need 2 different electronic authorizations. This isn't meant to scare you, it's just meant to help you plan. Europe isn't closing its doors, it's just modernizing its border screening. Destinations that require more complex visas. If you're traveling to places like Ghana, Nigeria, Algeria, or Russia, these often require formal applications, possible in-person appointments, and longer processing times. These are not casual book it and go next week destinations. You should plan to start the visa process 6 to 8 weeks before travel. Some visas technically process in 5 to 15 business days, but that doesn't include appointment availability, mailing delays, document corrections, unexpected rejections, holiday slowdowns. And remember, sometimes your passport is physically mailed away during processing. You don't want flights booked for next week while your passport is sitting at a visa center. How much extra planning time should you build in? ETA required? Add 1 to 2 weeks buffer. E-visa required? Add 3 to 4 weeks buffer. Traditional embassy visa? Add 6 to 8 weeks minimum. If you're traveling during peak season, add even more time. First time international traveler checklist. If this is your first international trip, here's what to do. Number 1, check your passport expiration date. Many countries require 6 months validity. Number 2, country name entry requirements for US passport holders. Number 3, apply early. Even e-visas can be delayed. Number 4, double check airline boarding rules. Airlines enforce visa compliance before you even leave the US. A lot of Americans are used to spontaneous travel, but visa-required destinations are not book it Friday, fly Monday trips. They require planning discipline, and the earlier you know that, the smoother your trip will be. And one more thing, always check official government websites, not third-party visa services first. Drop your next international destination in the comments. I'll reply and tell you exactly what Americans need to enter. And if you've ever been surprised by a visa requirement, I want to hear that story. The US passport is powerful, but powerful doesn't mean automatic. And in 2026, more countries are moving toward digital pre-approval systems. Plan early, apply early, and travel confidently. If this helped you, please consider subscribing, because we break down the details that actually matter before you book. When it comes to all things travel, we got your back. As always, my name's Kelly, your trusted vacation agent, wishing you safe travels.